Hello everyone and welcome back to another StarCraft 2 replay cast. Today I have for you a TvT from the Bronze League. Spawning up here at the top right side of the map, we have JH Reg's Loiosh, who's going to go ahead and throw down his supply depot. And spawning at the bottom side of the map, in red, we have TROX's Diaboli. Diaboli is actually going to do something very smart here. He's going to go ahead and scout these other possible spawn positions on this map, since this is a 4-spawn map. And he's up to something. You can see this refinery coming up. He's going to go ahead and get some pretty early gas. And it looks like he's going to go ahead and funnel the full 3 SCVs right on in there to mine that gas. Which means he could be up to some mech play, maybe some Reapers for harassment, probably a pretty fast factory, something along those lines. And over here we have Loiosh finishing up his barracks. Looks like he's going to rally his Marines all the way down here to the top of this ramp to defend against the very scary and mighty Scout, which will certainly be coming his way. Diaboli, having scouted the other 2 possible spawn points for his opponent, now knows that Loiosh is going to be on up here, and is going to send that SCV on over to take a look. Orbital Command finishing up here. And it looks like we have a fairly early expansion from Loiosh. Now, I will go ahead and tip my hand just a little bit and tell you that Loiosh is the submitter for this replay. He told me, you know what, pretty new to the game, really just want to macro up and make Marines. That's a perfectly fine thing to do, because macro will win you a lot of games. So that Scout getting taken out by these 2 very fearsome Marines guarding the ramp. Looks like there is going to be a brief supply block, but that is going to be remedied by our brave SCV building a supply depot. And this command center is well on its way to being finished, so everything is looking good in Loiosh's base. Down here, checking in again on Diaboli. See that he has 2 SCVs mining gas, one just kind of hanging out, not mining gas for reasons I don't fully understand. But in any case, lots of SCVs mining gas, and not too many mining minerals at this point. He is throwing down mules pretty regularly, and he has gotten that fast factory that I was talking about earlier, which is kind of unsurprising. Looks like he's going to go ahead and make Hellions, which are a pretty good unit for harassment, so we'll see if they do anything later in game. We have too many SCVs being queued up, but that's alright. If you look at some of the other queues that Loiosh has been doing, see that he's just got 1 Marine building here, just 1 SCV training here. So aside from this queue, I actually don't see too many things in the replay where Loiosh is queuing up a whole bunch of units at a time, which is good because that means that he is spending his money pretty quickly and not waiting for queued up units to be done. We do have Stim coming up for the 1 Marine that Diaboli has. He's going to go ahead and build another Hellion and add on another barracks. Finally is going to go ahead and train up some additional SCVs of his own. I don't think he finished Stim. Oh, he lifted before Stim finished, and he lands with regret and pain. Decides to go ahead with a swap anyway, because Stim takes a long time to research, and he's not going to wait through that again. He's just going to build a second barracks, add on a reactor here, and he's going to make a whole bunch of Marines that don't have Stim. Blizzard, second reactor, yeah, lots of Marines. Probably tanks are going to come out of here, because that is the fun of having a factory with a tech lab on it. In the meantime, we do see these Hellions out moving across the map. This number of Marines should be able to take care of them. See them move up the ramp and then down the ramp again, with a single tire falling in the rubble here. 1 Hellion having been killed off. If we go ahead and take a look, see that the worker supply is heavily favoring Loiosh, which is going to be great for him. The army supply also leaning heavily in his favor. Also good. With the greatly increased income, it will mean that relative to his opponent, he's going to have infinite minerals, which means having infinite marines. See, here we go, just queuing up 2 at a time, which is a completely reasonable number of things to queue up if you are in the Bronze League, so very good there, Loiosh, keeping that queue number low. And he's going to go ahead and scout around a little bit himself. Now, I'm going to go ahead and try and sell Loiosh gas a little bit. Loiosh, if you are listening, one of the things that he told me when he sent me this replay was, I'm new and I just want a macro, so I really don't want to get gas. Now at this point in the game, you'll note that Loiosh has 2.5k minerals. I'm going to go ahead and argue, in fact, that gas is an essential part of macro, especially for Terran players at this stage of the game. Not only because you can get upgrades and climb the tech tree and all of those things that, you know, you just want to make marines. You don't need any of that nonsense going on. Small dispute over the Zelnaga Tower in the middle of the map. What you can do to really help you spend this money on more marines, which is what you want, is go ahead and build all these, and then add reactors onto them. It's a mere 50 gas per reactor, and you can make twice the number of marines. Now I will go ahead and say that at this point you can probably go ahead and expand and doing things like getting an engineering base so that you can have missile turrets and get upgrades for those marines. Even getting, say, 1 barracks with a tech lab so that you can get upgrades for those units is going to be good. All of that requires gas, and all of that is going to help you keep that money low and keep making marines, which is just a fine thing to do. Speaking of marines, look at this flood of marines. Marines really remind me of ants whenever they bunch up like this. It's incredibly terrifying to see something like this coming up your ramp. I'm going to go ahead and check in on Diaboli. Diaboli doesn't have nearly as large of an army supply. Looking back at this, you see 44 to 19 in workers and 52 to 40 in army supply. But what we do have here are siege tanks, and siege tanks will kill marines. Siege tanks will kill a lot of marines. If Loiosh tried to run up this ramp right now, it would probably be kind of a slaughter. I don't actually know who would come out on top of that, because siege tanks would destroy many of his marines before they got up there. But when they got up there, they would find just a couple of other marines and siege tanks. So, probably not a good idea, though. Now you'll note that Diaboli, actually relative to Loiosh, really relative to anyone, has fairly few minerals. And that's not actually a good thing in this case. Diaboli is going the opposite route that Loiosh is, in that he's not macroing all that well, which will lose you a lot of games, actually. He hasn't been making a whole lot of SCVs, and he hasn't expanded yet. Really, by this point in the game, you should have at least 1 expansion, if not 2. I do see that Diaboli has gone up here and scouted for a 3rd. And he's very intent on killing off these rocks, which really would help Loiosh out a good deal, since he could easily transfer things back and forth between what should be his 3rd base and his natural pretty readily without having to run all the way over here, then back down this way and over here. So having those rocks gone is good for him. Looks like there is another dispute over the watchtower. Watchtowers are great to have. Both of our players really could do with a bit more scouting. Even scouting just these random bases out here in the middle, because you will sometimes have people take ninja bases. Diaboli's army moving down to sort of the bottom of his natural expansion ramp, and I saw a click over here. Is he gonna expand? Diaboli's expanding! Hopefully he'll make some SCVs to go right along with that expansion. But in the meantime, no. Just gonna go ahead and make the expansion, nothing else. He does have these nice banshees with cloak. Would be very good for Loiosh to have an engineering bay with missile turrets so that he wouldn't have to waste scans finding that annoying banshee and killing it off after it harasses his workers, because that's no fun. And that engineering bay could get you upgrades if you had gas, Loiosh! Loiosh running his marines back from the Zelnaga Tower after seeing these marines come on up to it. Both players are supply blocked at this point. It looks like Loiosh is going to go ahead and move his army of ant marines on down around the side since he knows that his opponent has the Xel'Naga tower. This is going to mean that Diaboli does not see this coming at all. Diaboli, in a shocking twist, looks like he might also be moving out. And Loiosh pauses here to allow Diaboli's army to move away. I think that was just a random army pause that happens when you're in the Bronze League and you move back to macro. But what it's going to mean is that he's going to run up his opponent's ramp and be able to start killing things pretty quickly. Meanwhile, Diaboli is going to be able to kill these rocks very effectively and then probably start killing Loiosh right back. Which means that we have a base race. Lots of things being killed. Right here. These rocks going down. These marines are doomed. Siege tanks sieging on up. Going to destroy these marines. Yep, there it is. Loiosh realizing his predicament. Sending some troops back? Nope. Just gonna go ahead and base race it up. Yeah. These siege tanks really do need to move up a bit. This rally point is going to go ahead and ensure that these marines are killed off pretty quickly. These siege tanks, in order to reach anything, really need to run on up the ramp. Loiosh is going to go ahead and run up into his opponent's base, going to kill off the rest of the field. This siege tank not standing a chance. And Diaboli is being revealed. At this point, the fear gets to go away. Because for a moment, Loiosh, you can see him go, should I run back to my base and try and engage that? Or should I just kill all his stuff? What if he has another base? He does not. You're safe, Loiosh. It's gonna be okay. These siege tanks, completely out of range of anything useful, are not going to contribute enough, I don't think, to really close this game out. Loiosh gonna run his whole army around, killing off as many buildings as possible. I believe this SCV will live with 9 hit points, although the rest of the base will die. These 3 supply depots being Diaboli's last buildings, and game. Diaboli was defeated. Thank you so much for watching. If you're a Bronze League player, or if you're really any StarCraft player, feel free to send me your replays at NoobCrafted@gmail.com. That's NoobCrafted@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you all good luck and have fun. Good night!